Listen to this episode if you find yourself constantly on this ads treadmill and you know that they could actually work better for you. Everybody blames Meta first. Everybody blames the creative. Everybody says Meta ads are broken. All of these data points that you are looking at, everybody ends up saying, oh, the Meta ad system is just so incredibly hard. Sometimes could it be your ads? Yes, but most of the time it's actually exposing another problem. The biggest mindset shift that I really want you to think about when it comes to ads is that you have to stop actually just looking at ads in isolation when we're actually looking at an ad strategy. Too often I see people on this ad creative treadmill where they're creating all of these new ads all day long, trying to get one or a few to stick. And they actually are exposing this bigger problem that we have to address first before your ads are actually going to convert. Today, we're going to talk all about this and dive into why your ads aren't actually converting and what you actually need to do in order to have high converting ads. This is all about how marketing has changed. It used to be you could put $50 a day, $100 a day on an ad. People would see the ad and they would buy. But right now, people are being sold to from all angles. So you have to get a little bit craftier. Let's dive into this. We're talking parallel marketing, where usually the other problems are and where I see them the most, some of the biggest mistakes, and then my major philosophy with this we are going to wrap up with. I just want to take 10 quick seconds to say hello, just in case you're new here. My name is Madison Page. I am a business growth specialist, and I am the host of the Business Growth Podcast. I help product-based businesses become category leaders in their industry, and today we're talking ads. Ads is a really big conversation when we're talking e-com, we're talking product business in general. Ads is a very deep world. You can talk about ads for a very long time, but I actually think people way undercomplicate some of the ads. They think you just pay for ads and it's going to convert, but that's not actually how it goes. I talk about this idea of parallel marketing all the time, and this is how people think of marketing. And it worked in probably like 2005, maybe at the beginning of business as well, beginning of the internet, beginning of social media, maybe up until like 2015. It worked for a very long time, basically meaning every single marketing channel was leading to sales. No matter what you were doing, we were trying to just make sales. You would post on social media, sales would happen. You would post an ad, sales would happen. You would have influencers post about you, sales would happen. That's not how marketing is anymore. Marketing is much more of this ecosystem these days. Now, instead of having all of these channels alongside of each other, they're actually all working together. Why? Because it's taking longer for people to buy. People want to know more about your brand before they actually purchase from you. So what ends up happening is that people see you on your ads and then they check out your social media and then they join your email list. Then they see an influencer talk about you and then they explore your website a little bit and they're really getting bits and pieces of your brand and they're trying to basically turn on in their mind, okay, this is a brand that I do actually want to purchase from. You are trying to create action. And so all of these channels have a different purpose, but they are all working together. They aren't just parallel and leading to sales all the time. So, your ad can go to your Instagram, it can go to your website, it can go to your email. We basically need all of those other softwares, all of those other systems perfectly optimized in order for you to actually convert. So ads don't just close sales alone. Of course, you will have some people see an ad, go and buy. That's awesome. We love that. But ads oftentimes create curiosity and awareness first. Websites can build the confidence. Organic social builds your trust. Your emails builds more consistency and gets more product information out there. Reviews on your website remove the objections. Customer experiences creates the referrals. What we're seeing here is, yes, ads are there. Yes, some people will buy from an ad, but they're really much more of just a piece of the puzzle. People think ads are the 100% of the puzzle, so they put everything else on the back burner. They don't really focus too much on their organic. They might fall off on the influencer marketing side. In their emails, they just want ads out there because they are focused on acquisition. But acquisition alone is not actually going to convert anymore in 2026. Every piece of your marketing actually has a different job that we have to put all of the puzzle pieces together to make the beautiful picture. So what I usually see here is people come to me and they say, I'm spending all this money on ads and nothing is working. And then we actually look at their ads and I'm saying, your ads are actually working. These creatives, they're like, we test all of these creatives all day long. And I look at their creatives and I look at the data and people are clicking. People are coming to the website. People are going to their profile. They're following them. The ads are doing their job. They're getting the eyes. They're getting the clicks. They're getting the interest. And what's not working is actually your ecosystem. I call this the marketing ecosystem because it's what's necessary in marketing right now is that everything is actually working together. People need multiple touch points in order to actually purchase from you. And so I want to talk about really what oftentimes I actually see as the problem that's outside of the actual ad creative, because your ad creative and the copy and the setup can oftentimes be fairly simple. Now, of course, you do need to have a little bit of the tech knowledge, and the meta ad system in the back end changes every stinking 6 months, 3 months. And it just feels like every time you go in there, it can feel very overwhelming, but it doesn't actually need to be that overwhelming. Once we have maybe some top of funnel, some retargeting, you can have just a couple of campaigns going, and then you do have to consistently update it and make some changes. But once you know what works, we basically have to fill these other gaps. Otherwise, as I always talk about, you have this leaky bucket and you are basically constantly trying to patch a hole that doesn't exist if you're just testing all of this other creative. And the worst part about testing ads is you just have a lot of money going away. Your money is just poof, gone into the ether because it's not actually converting into sales. And so a lot of times you're like, well, I'm running these ads and the ads aren't working and everybody says the ads should work. And that's because you've been working with selling to people that already know about your brand a little bit on these other platforms that they can't actually convert cold audiences. So a lot of times I see these people that have communities, they have people, they have this standard kind of baseline of customers start running ads and all of a sudden their data on their website tanks and their ads aren't converting. They're like, what is wrong? I have a stable company. And that is because your system, your marketing ecosystem isn't created to convert cold audiences. And so I want to talk about the 5 major ways that people are actually making a mistake with their ads without actually talking about the ad creatives themselves. First things first is the positioning, which is your messaging. You basically have the same messaging as everybody else. So when people see it, they're like, oh, it's just another perfume company. Oh, it's just another skincare company. Oh, it's just another candle company, whatever it might be. They don't actually know what sets you apart and they don't actually know what makes your product different. So there's really no unique angle here and they can't see it when they go to your website and they check out your homepage on your website. They just don't see why they should care. So it's not just on the creative that you need this positioning. You need it across all channels. So when they look at all of these channels, why should they care? What actually makes you so great and what makes you different? We need people when they land on your ad, either they click on your website or they go to your Instagram to kind of stalk you a little bit more. What we need people to be able to do is say, oh, this is a skincare company that caters to X, Y, and Z. Oh, this is an athletic wear company that's made for this reason. Wow, that's really cool. I've never seen that before. Wow, I really like that concept. Or wow, I really like that idea. That's what you're lacking right now is you're just trying to blend in and be like everybody else and be like that other big name in your industry that you actually haven't separated yourself. A lot of times you're probably competing on product right now, but your product might actually not be that different. Sometimes you have to compete on perspective or idea or audience or something else in order to say, oh, this is what actually makes my business different. So when they go and explore, they can find that. So a messaging problem is usually something that we tackle with every single person I come in contact with, is because messaging is what actually attracts and gets people to latch on a little bit. The next one is the landing page from the ads. So a lot of times we see a high click-through rate, but then a low conversion rate, which tells me wherever they're landing is not actually converting them. And you really do have to look at, this can be their first time ever looking at your brand. And if they just land on a random product page and that product page doesn't give information about your brand, you know, what this product is all about, what separates you, you're going to lose them because it's just like, oh, okay. here's this perfume and it's $25. Great. Sounds awesome. But like, why do I care? Do I trust this company? It is a completely cold audience. It's like you walking through the mall, which I haven't been to a mall in years because where are the malls these days? But if you're walking through a mall and somebody is just like, hey, do you want to buy my stuff? Do you want to buy this? Do you want to buy that? You land immediately into the sales pitch. Instead, they say, this is literally the best lotion I've ever tried. Here, can I give you some just to try it? It really moisturizes. I put it on my hands. I put it on my feet. Sometimes I wear socks at night and my feet wake up and they're so moisturized. I feel like every little crack that I have, they are perfect. It is heavily moisture rich. We have these certain types of ingredients, but really above all else, we have this one active ingredient that many people don't have elsewhere. And we made it for people that find really dry skin in the fall. And they just all of a sudden in the fall and the winter and everything starts cracking, their knuckles, their feet. And that is who we made this for. Immediately, you just had a whole sales pitch and now you're into, I would love to buy that. You also have to do that on the landing page of these because they don't know anything about your brand. They don't know what you stand for. They don't know if you have clean ingredients. They don't know any of those things. And so if your PDP page, if that's the landing page that it's going to, is not strong and or you're sending them to the wrong page, like you're just putting them on the homepage of your website, they might get a little bit lost on what's actually happening. So very often I actually end up tweaking people's landing pages and the PDP page, the product description page that we're sending people to and making that more robust to actually sell that better than actually tweaking the ad. So if you see that you have a click-through rate that's pretty decent, but people aren't buying, that's not an ad problem. That's a landing page problem most of the time, some of the time. The next one is that many people oftentimes forget about organic social when they start ads. They say, oh, I have ads going out. My ads are what's selling. So I can just take it easy on the organic social side and I'll just post pretty photos there every once in a while. But that actually doesn't work either because then you're forgetting retention. You're also forgetting many people come from the ad to your Instagram to get more information. More people would rather stalk your Instagram now than actually click all around your website to figure out more about the business. So what people are doing is they see your ad, they go to your Instagram to get more information, your Instagram, your Facebook page, whatever that might be. They're going there to get the information on who your brand is, what's the best selling products and what that really looks like. So if you just put your organic social to the back burner, what ends up happening is that people don't actually get the information and they never get that latching point and they never actually fully care. Again, if you see a lot of profile visits on your ads, if you see a lot of follows on your ads, but they're not actually converting, it's probably because your organic social isn't working very well. I have a client that all we did was change the 3 pinned posts on their profile and their return on ad spend doubled overnight. What that tells me is that people are craving information and we needed to plug the gaps of that information in those pinned posts. They were looking for something. We had to give them that something in order for them to actually say, okay, let me dig deeper. Because you already have their attention, but if you don't build the desire, they're going to leave and they're going to bounce. And we don't want that because that was just $20. That was just $5. We just spent money to try to get that person to our social. So you can't just feel active there. You have to have a robust marketing channel alongside of it. This is probably the biggest one that I would see, either the landing page or the organic social. Those two have to be optimized because that's where people are also going to get more info. You need it there. Hey, I've been getting some DMs that you may not know what I do outside of hosting this podcast. I actually work with product-based business owners every single day to help them grow and scale their brand. If you really want my eyes one-on-one inside of your business to look at your strategy, to look at your funnels, to look at your data, and to develop your next campaign or bring your business or your idea to life, that is exactly what I do every single day. I've worked with 500 plus businesses across 70 different industries to help them become the next household name in their industry. If you are craving a business brain, a strategic advisor, a data-centered, obsessed person to come into your business and help you bring your idea to life, I'm your gal. Come on over to my Instagram at thisismadisonpage, DM me support. Otherwise, you can click the link in the show notes to apply today. Okay, back to the episode. The next one is email. A lot of times when we start running ads, you will start to see an influx of people joining your email list. You also will get an influx of new customers. And if you don't have your email funnels optimized for your post-purchase flow, for abandoned carts, for your first email, like, your welcome sequence, if you don't have those optimized, what ends up happening is that people are in these pivotal moments in the sales cycle and you lose them. So they might buy from you, but if they don't have a good post-purchase flow, odds are their customer experience isn't going to be great and they're never going to come back, which again makes your ads not profitable. Or they say, wow, I'm interested in this company. Let me join their welcome flow and just see what they're about and learn more about them over the next couple of days. They might be busy. People are seeing ads all over the place. You might be on the toilet. You might be on the couch watching a movie with your kids and you don't want to actually buy something right now. If they're joining your email list, they're following you, they're joining your email list, this will allow for me to remember this company and check it out later. That's what's going through their mind. Think about yourself, how you shop from ads. What does that really look like? And so when they're joining your email list, if they join your welcome flow to learn more about your brand over the next couple of days, and all you do is send one baseline email, or you just keep selling to them, saying, buy my stuff, buy my stuff, buy my stuff, and you never actually give more information, odds are you're going to lose them in that key point. And so your email flows are another thing that you really have to optimize prior to actually running ads. The next one is the offer. This is the final thing that we're going to talk about before we kind of dive in to the philosophy that I really want you to think about. The offer is what has to be compelling to get people to actually really click. So this doesn't just mean that you put out an ad that says, here's who our brand is, or this is what our product is. We have to make sure that this is a product that you are pushing that is actually going to build the brand that you want. Sometimes people can run an ad. You can run an ad for something that's $5 or $10 or $20, and you might get a lot of sales, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it's attracting the right customer and that those people are going to come back. So you have to do a lot of testing and to see, okay, we're running ads for this product, but that customer isn't great. We're running ads for this product and our average order value goes up and our return customer rate goes up and our conversion rate goes up. Okay, that offer brings in the right type of customer. Sometimes people are too fluffy with how they're actually running their ad strategy that they aren't actually making anything known. A lot of times we really do recommend having one major product that you're pushing, and don't just push your brand. We need to understand what's a good entry point, what's a good retargeting offer, what's a good way to create urgency, right? We need to basically look at this as, again, it's an ecosystem. Every ad can't look the same, whether it's your prospecting or your retargeting ads, so the people going out to cold audience or people that's been on your website. You basically have to give people different information all the time. So one of the major takeaways of all of this is that you need a lot of depth in your brand and your marketing and your emails and your messaging. People want more than to just be sold to. So even when they're getting their first touch point from ads or just any touch point from ads, you have to do more than just sell to them. You can't just say, go and buy, go and buy, go and buy. Here's my brand. This is why we're so great. Go and buy it. You have to dig a little bit deeper and get a little bit more robust in the marketing there. The biggest mistake I see people make is that they're trying to optimize ads before optimizing their marketing ecosystem, spending thousands testing creatives to have their money just poof out the window. And you might make more sales, but that doesn't necessarily mean your return on ad spend is going to be good. Many people are ignoring the website, ignoring the marketing, ignoring the retention, ignoring the positioning that actually happens with ads. Ads is a 10% piece of the puzzle. Eventually, many people's ads become a massive piece of their puzzle because it is a major place of acquisition. But in the beginning, when you're playing with it and you're trying to get in ads to really convert for you to scale to 7 and multi-7 and 8 figures, you have to make sure that your system that you've built is built to convert cold audiences first, your emails, your social, all of these other things. So you don't just want to sit there and waste money optimizing ads. You don't just want to sit there, waste money trying to test all of these creatives. A lot of times we got to look elsewhere. We got to look deeper into the data. I really want you to sit here, and how I try to think about everything in marketing is I try to think about how I consume. You need to think like a customer. Walk through what your buying journey is in some of the ways that you have purchased from these people. And you'll probably say, Maddie, I don't even know how I heard about some of these brands that I'm buying from. And that's because they have a really great marketing ecosystem. It means you saw a billboard or you saw an influencer talk about it, and then you saw an ad for it, and then you checked out their website and you followed them on Instagram. You have all of these different touch points that eventually led to you buying from them. You bought from them, you had a great experience, you got some great emails, and now you want to come back. And so that's how you have to think about your entire marketing ecosystem. Marketing is not something that can be half-assed. I know that marketing is not everybody's favorite thing. I love marketing. I could talk marketing all day long, but I understand that many founders don't start their business to be a professional marketer. Until you have somebody in your business that's helping you with your marketing, it has to be a focus of yours. It has to be something that you take seriously. And many of these things you optimize once and it's going. Your PDP pages, your emails, those things we optimize one time, and then they're out there and they're working and they're selling for you every day. But unless you optimize them, they're never actually going to convert to the way that you really want them to. My philosophy around marketing is that marketing isn't a collection of individual channels. It's one connected ecosystem that you have to make sure there is a clean thread in between your emails and all of these different pieces. They know what brand they are in contact with when they come in contact with your brand. That is what is necessary, is that no matter where they're opening up a package from you or they see an influencer posting about you, that it seems cohesive and that we're thinking about it really as this ecosystem. We are too tunnel visioned on these individual pieces that we think, okay, we're going to do influencer marketing. And we're not thinking, okay, how does influencer marketing work into our ecosystem? But you need to be. What you're thinking is you're saying, okay, how can I get as much visibility here as possible to try to get seen? But if you get seen, are your pinned posts optimized? Is your profile optimized? Do you have really great messaging? Do we know that your organic content, when they go and stalk you, is something that is actually optimized to convert, warm, and educate them? Is your website optimized? You need this whole piece of your online presence optimized in order to have these things being streamlined. So if your ads aren't working, maybe we need to dig deeper into your data from the ads. Is it that the ads aren't being seen? Is it that you don't have enough people actually seeing your ads in order to make a right amount of sales? Are you spending $4 a day? It's probably not a lot. You spend $10 a day, probably not a lot of actual sessions that you're getting onto your website. That could be an ads problem. That could be a budget problem. But most often, if you're spending enough money and you have enough people coming to your website, but your conversion rate is low, your return on ad spend is really low, and you're just not seeing the results that you're looking for, it might not actually be an ads creative problem. We have to dig deeper. You are on this treadmill of creating creatives, and most likely it's a gap actually somewhere else. So I urge you to audit your data today, this weekend, whenever. I want you to look at your meta data on the back end of the Meta Business Suite and see what is actually happening here. Is it your click-through rate that's low? Is it your return on ad spend that's low? Is it your sessions that's low? What is actually the major gap here? Where are the leaks in your bucket? And then I want you to see, do I actually feel like I've optimized my organic social, my emails, the offer, the landing page, and the positioning? Because let me tell you, if you can get ads to work for you, it really does feel like magic. I have plenty of clients that we get all of this stuff figured out, because this is why I focus on this stuff a lot of times first before I touch ads with a lot of my clients, because I want to make sure that if we're pumping money into something, my focus isn't even on the ads right now. It's making sure that your funnels are actually there to convert before we pump more money into ads. And so oftentimes we start with these other pieces just to make sure you have all of these puzzle pieces in place because that's where the optimization and the scale really happens. That's where the expansion happens. But I have a lot of clients that we've gotten to this point that we have built them an incredible marketing system, an incredible shopping system on their website, on their emails. And then we turn on ads. They have a 14 return on ad spend and their business absolutely blows up basically overnight. But why that happens to them is because we've optimized the marketing and the sales system first. We've really nailed that down. And I know we get them to a point where I say, all you need is eyes at this point. Let's turn on some ads and let's get it. It might point out a couple of gaps maybe in that process, in that testing and implementation, but you can immediately plug them because we know we've made so many changes already. And that is what really matters. We need to be able to make quick little tweaks and adjustments, be able to look at your data and figure it out from there. So if your ads aren't working, this is where I want you to start. If you want high converting ads, you have to start with your business as a whole. It can't just be the one area of your business. If this is something you would like my help with, we literally are doing this all day long. I'm talking ads all day long with my clients, but we also are looking at it from a much larger approach than just ads. If that's something that you're interested in, you can click the link in the show notes and apply. We only have one more spot for the rest of the year for support for strategic advisory one-on-one, but I would love to talk with you and see what we can do. I hope that's helpful for you. And I love you. I'm rooting for you. I'm in your corner always. And I will see you in the next episode. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of the Business Growth Podcast. We put out new episodes every Tuesday and Friday. So if you love this one, make sure that you're subscribed so you never miss a conversation. If you want more conversations with me and other business owners, make sure that you join our completely free podcast community, the Founders Cafe. The link is in the show notes. You can get bonus resources, access to free coaching calls, as well as connect with like-minded business owners like yourself. Make sure that you rate and review the podcast 5 stars, share it with a friend to keep those conversations moving, and come back every Tuesday and Friday. I'll see you there.